Hi everyone and welcome back to the Get It and Give It podcast. So for anyone who's new here, this podcast is all about people who I admire, who are trying to make the world a better place and are going out and getting what they want out of life, all the while giving back through either education or through doing things that help the planet, help people, help animals, and just loads of different amazing things like that. So they're people who inspire me, that are going out, getting what they want, and that are giving back somehow. So on today's show, we have a lovely lady called Jade Brady, or the Vegan Colleen as she's otherwise known. And Jade is someone who I came across on Instagram after a simple search looking for some Irish vegans, i.e. someone close to home who wasn't just sharing pictures of smoothies and smoothie bowls in the middle of winter, because that was not working for me. After following Jade, I soon realised how awesome she is. Not only would she share pictures of her food, which helped me generate some meal ideas of my own, but she also started meal prepping, and she gave out a lot of tips, which was the subject matter in which I first ever emailed her over, as I was totally lost, and she replied with a huge in-depth email full of info and help. After that, I noticed that there was a new topic beginning to emerge on Jade's page, and it was everything to do with essential oils and all the benefits they contain. A few months ago when I was very sick, Jade very kindly sent me some oils my way to help me out, and I was pretty blown away by how quick they helped and the difference they made literally within a few hours. I got a lot better, and that was when I decided I really needed and wanted to get Jade on the Get It and Give It podcast. One, to speak about essential oils and all their benefits, and just for anyone who's wondering, Jade actually does a monthly class in the evenings, and we speak about it all in the show, all the information you'll find on the show. And two, to talk about veganism and any tips and advice she has for anyone who's vegan or who's transitioning. And three, to just talk about health being your wealth. And let's just jump straight in.
So Jade, what was your first ever job?
My first job was waitressing when I was about 15 or 16. I used to go up to a little restaurant in Slane. So I worked there for a couple of months, and I got to see the buzz of like being in the kitchen and serving food and stuff like that. So that was my first job. I think that kind of gave me a taste for like wanting to cook, I guess, because it was my mum's partner at the time, and he was the chef, so I loved seeing him in the kitchen and whipping up different dishes and stuff. So I think that's kind of started me like wanting to, do a bit of cooking myself.
What got you interested in essential oils?
Well, I think for myself, I've always been quite like skeptical about I'm always a skeptic about everything, I guess, like in the world, and I was always into natural health methods anyway. Like if I ever had something wrong with me, I was always Googling like, natural remedies for whatever it was. So I had started using essential oils to kind of, I heard they were good, and like there was this buzz about them. I started in that way. I wanted to see if there was different ways to kind of treat different things, and then I started using the doTERRA essential oils, and that was totally like completely different from anything I'd ever done before. And there was a lot of support there and education, which was brilliant. So it's something I do like on the side, because I am studying to be a counsellor and psychotherapist, and I think they kind of, in some ways, they kind of run into each other. There's an emotional side to essential oils and how they can benefit calming ourselves and different things like that. So I think the two and two kind of go in together. So I'm interested to see how that plays out, I guess, in the next couple of years.
Definitely. And just for like a bit of clarity for anyone who's listening, I just done a class with Jade in essential oils, and some of it was just mind blowing. Like, what was the oil we put on our ears?
So we tried a blend called Balance. So this is a grounding blend, and it has really calming properties in it. We did the test where we look to the left and then the right, and then we put the oil on, and I think everyone's head kind of whipped around a lot further, and that's because it's calming the nervous system in our bodies and relaxing that tension that we hold in our necks and in our shoulders. So the properties in the oils that we use and the doTERRA oils, they're second to none. I always say, like, let the oils speak for themselves, like, and they really do, like, I guess.
Because I just couldn't believe the difference of the first time you kind of turn your head with no oil around, with no, like...
Nothing on you,
nothing on. And, you'll only go so far, and then after putting the oils on and massaging them around, like, you nearly feel like you could do...
a full 360.
It was crazy. And what are some key points that you think anyone who hasn't used essential oils should just keep in mind when using them or when starting to use them?
Yeah, I think some of the things to keep in mind are, the essential oil business, they're not regulated. So there is no standard that any company has to live up to, I guess. So always be careful of any oils you're using. I use doTERRA essential oils because I know that they're certified pure therapeutic grade, and I'll always stick with those ones because I know that they're tested and it's very rigorous testing they go through. So when I'm talking about oils, I'm talking about those specific ones. So always keep in mind any oils that you're using, because there's so many of them out there. I know a lot of people like to diffuse them, but just be careful if you're doing anything topical, or obviously I would never suggest taking anything else internally. But you know, the essential oils have great uses. Like, they've been used for hundreds of years, and you know, as long as you're getting a pure grade, I think that's the most important. They've a lot of benefits. So yeah, just to keep that in mind, I guess.
That's a good one, because even like the list of things on the different box from a different company that you're reading out were just crazy. Like, don't get it here, don't get it there, don't let it go on your skin, don't do this. Whereas with doTERRA, you're saying that you can put it,
do kind of anything with it. Yeah, you can take them internally. So yeah, it's madness, like that. You know, that they are so unregulated, I guess. But you know, as you said, like even with the food industry, like, you know, it's regulated, but even then, you know, do you really trust, I guess, some labels? So it's always, I think, always listen to your body, always be careful of anything you put into it or put on it, and just, you know, as I said, like, listen to your body. Your body is smart and it'll tell you like if this is good or not. Like,
good,
so yeah.
And what are some of your favourite oils that you use?
Oh God, that's such a hard question. How do I narrow that down? Oh, I would say one of my favourite ones is a blend called On Guard. So that's the protective blend. It's great for seasonal threats. There's so many uses. It's great for airborne pathogens. So especially this time of year where it's absolutely Baltic and there's so many different flus and viruses going around, that kind of gets whipped out an awful lot. So I use that one quite regularly. Another one that I love would be peppermint. So we try that in the class as well. So peppermint is really invigorating and it's cooling. But there's so many different uses for it. So it's great for clearing your sinuses, but it's great for digestion as well. So there's a lot of uses for that one. And then probably another one would be something calming like lavender or the balance, just to, you know, kind of unwind and keep everything calm, I guess, especially at night as well when the hamster starts going on the wheel. You need to calm down, you know. So yeah, definitely that'd be probably top 3, I would say.
And because with that, on the peppermint oil, I was sick a few weeks ago and Jade sent me over some of the peppermint oil. And it was just amazing, the difference, because I literally couldn't breathe unless my mouth was open, and just a few drops of it, or even one drop of it on your hand, and just breathing in, it made all the difference. So I can attest to that particular peppermint oil was amazing.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, it really is.
And can you tell us just a little bit about diffusers and how they work with essential oils and why, you know, maybe you'd recommend them to people?
Yeah, so the diffusers, you know, I think it's quite old school. A lot of people would have burned oils years ago. I mean, I was doing this. I would have the candle and oils that I was buying in shops and just, you know, burn them underneath. But burning the oils actually kills the molecules in them. So when we say diffusing, it's a cool mist diffuser. So it's water and then the oils go in. And so this is great for, especially I think with kids, they're getting the benefits of the oils without it actually directly going onto them. And it's great, like if you go into a room where there's essential oils diffusing, you can smell it straight away. And like I was saying about our emotions, like, you know, you go into a room that has lavender or eucalyptus, you automatically get that kind of, you know, ease when you walk into the room and you can smell it. And especially at night, like to keep, you know, your bedroom like that calm environment. So diffusing oils is a great way to get the benefits without actually directly putting anything onto you, but always make sure it's a cool mist diffuser. Yeah.
No, that's good. Because I have a diffuser at home. I think it's a cool mist, but I love it. So I can't wait to put some of your oils in.
They're gorgeous. They are. Yeah.
And so obviously I have just been to your class and I know what's involved. But if you were to describe your class and talk about it, what would you say is involved in the night?
So the classes run to about an hour and a half. So that includes like a basic intro to essential oils. So we chat about what they are, like where they come from, the different benefits of them. We also go through the different types of grades of oil. So we show the difference between kind of standard ones you can buy in shops and then obviously the ones that we use. And then the different health benefits that you can get from the oils. And then we do a few kind of demonstrations. So we let people try the lemon or the orange in their water. We send the peppermint around, as we were talking about, and the balance as well. So we try a few different oils, and we kind of talk about the top 10 oils that are used. And they cover nearly, I would say 85% of kind of all health issues or concerns. So we go through them, and then at the end we just have nice tea and chats at the end, and we go through the books, and we go through each person's different issues or whatever, and see if we've tackled them or what could be done, I guess. So yeah, it's a really relaxed class. It's not like a teacher at the top of the room, telling everyone, but it's conversational, to relax, and people sharing their different stories as well. So they're always nice vibe, I guess, to come to, and you leave feeling quite relaxed, I think, afterwards.
Well, I certainly
yeah.
And so if people want to go to your class, where can they find out about it?
So I broadcast them on my own Instagram page, so the Vegan Colleen. So I'll put up any dates and any upcoming classes that we have there. I also try and do on Wednesdays midweek essentials. So I'll try and stick up any information about a specific oil and kind of give some information and support
and that's
on it.
Always in your stories.
Yeah, on my stories. Yeah, I save it then to the saved stories then as well, just so that they're always there. But then we also have a group page called the Oily Tribe. So we promote obviously our classes on that and where they are. So the locations we have is at the moment Glasnevin, Drumcondra, and then Dublin too as well. But there's essential oil classes all over Ireland. If anyone was to reach out, there's classes like in every single county that we've connections all over Ireland, and we can send you to, which is great. So there's supports everywhere, so.
No, that's good. And so to go a slightly different way, when and why did you go vegan?
Oh, onto the vegan stuff.
You are
now.
the vegan Colleen, so we want to know.
Well, it was bound to come. So when and why? Okay, so I started off. I was vegetarian on and off, I'd say, all through my childhood. When I was about 8 years old, I declared to my mum, I'm vegetarian now because Lisa Simpson is, and I have to be like Lisa Simpson. And so I refused to eat meat then, yeah. I wanted to be her, So there was a few different times over the years, my mum would tell me stories when I was 2 or 3, I'd run down to the butchers and give out to him and say, Malcolm, stop killing all the animals. And I'd come home and say I'm not wearing my fur coat. And
so you knew from a young age kind of
Yeah. I'd say I've always loved animals. I've always been quite empathetic to animals. So I was on and off kind of, for years. I don't want to eat meat, and obviously, I think if you don't know, you can't do anything about it. And you're a kid, you're given the food from your parents, and that's just kind of how it goes. So I'd say it was about 5 years ago when I actually started to kind of transition over to veganism. I watched the documentary Cowspiracy, and I was just I just couldn't believe how much I'd believed up until this point, and I kind of did an overnight, I was like, right, tomorrow I'm just going to go and get loads of food, and I tried to do it overnight. That didn't really work out. I ended up, going out for dinner, and I had chicken, I think, one night, and then I was like, oh, sure, might as well throw it out the window now. So I didn't really educate myself, I'd say, until it was about 2 months afterwards. I started doing the research, and I did it kind of more gradually then, and kind of started cutting things out, and that worked out a lot better for me. Rather than doing it overnight. Some people do it overnight, and I have to say I take my hat off to anyone that does do that, because to change your whole lifestyle, I guess, in one night, is very, very hard to do. So for me, it worked better to go gradually, but I think it was always inevitable. Like my family say, it was bound to happen. You were bound to come out with this one day. So it was always kind of in me, I guess, to kind of have that empathy towards animals. So
I just think that's so funny about the butchers.
Yeah.
Stop doing this.
Stop doing this. Even as well, I came home and was like, Mom, are my shoes made out of crocodile skin? Because I'm not wearing them anymore. And she was like, and then my coat, I had, Mom, is this made out of fur? I don't want to wear this. She was like, Jade, do you think I can afford real fur? Come on. So obviously just being young and innocent, and obviously seeing stuff, it was always registering with me. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And because Jade's Instagram profile is one of those that has just really nice food pictures up. So what would be one of your favourite meals to cook at home?
Oh, this is a hard question. I think at the moment everything I'm making is quite simple. I'm studying, I'm on the go constantly. So, at the start when I was transitioning, I had a gap year, and so I was trying to make all these extravagant, amazing recipes that like took about 2 hours, and you know, it was great because they had the time then.
Yeah.
But for me now, I'd say my go-to meals, I love making like a 3-bean chili, you know, like a chili con carne. And it's so simple. It's literally a tin of chopped tomatoes, beans, spices, and some veg, and there's a full dinner. Like, and you can put that on some rice, put it on some potatoes, and you're literally good to go. Another one I love to make is a coconut curry. Again, you know, it's the same tin, and good to go again. Like they're very quick, they're very handy. Like if you come in from work and you want to have a shower, just stick it all in the pot and 15-20 minutes let it simmer, and your dinner's good to go. So I'd say those two are probably like my go-to, I would say, at the moment. And they're really filling. They're really like what's the word? Hearty, I guess, like in this weather, you know, because
they sound exactly what you need now.
Yeah, because it's constantly cold in Ireland, I think. So like it's nice to have those hearty meals like that are quick and ready to go, and you know, so yeah, they probably my top two, I would say.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And I think one of the first times I ever messaged you on Instagram was over your food prepping.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips for anyone?
So the food prepping, this is something I have started to get back into again. I tend to go in and out of food prepping, I guess, because it depends on my schedule. When I know that I'm really busy, I need to have food prepped, because I end up just, you know, eating toast or like, you know, ready to go, or like easy things. So I think the top tips for food prepping is set aside a couple of hours each week that you have to do that. So I like to do it on a Sunday afternoon or a Monday morning if I'm not in work, and that kind of sets me up for the week. Making sure you have good containers to keep them in. Invest in these because they will stand to you. I tried to do it with like, you know, crap little 150 ones, and it just doesn't work. It spills and there's just no use for it. So invest in good Tupperware, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, and put a couple of hours aside, and know the recipes that you're going to do and how many portions it makes. So if you have a recipe that serves 4, you know that's Monday through Thursday. You know, whether you're having it for like lunch or dinner or whatever, and you can add something different into it. So like that, if you make a 3-bean chili, like you can have that Monday, Wednesday and Friday, but you might have rice with it for one day and a potato another day, or throw it on a salad, like, you know, so you can mix it up, and but it's still kind of the same bulk ready to go. So yeah, that'd be probably the top tips.
And they're okay to put into the fridge, or they would do freezing?
No, I keep them in the fridge. Like I'd say 4 days is what I kind of get out of it, you know. Anything over that, like freeze it, but don't freeze rice. I heard rice is very bad if you freeze that.
Really?
So apparently someone's you can get really sick from it. You're not to defrost rice, so just be careful of that. But
something to look out for. And where would be one of your favourite places to eat out in Dublin?
Oh, do you know what? I'm actually really bad for this, because there's so many places on my list that I really want to go to. There's amazing vegan places out at the moment, and there's so many on my list. I know there's Sova Vegan Butcher that I still haven't got to, and it sounds like all the food on it looks absolutely delicious, and I still haven't got to it yet. I think I'm a little bit lazy in the sense that like I'm quite a home bird. I'm very happy to stay at home, like you know, all the time. But I guess some of my favourite places, I guess local to me, I love Gourmet Food Parlour. They have one in Santry, Malahide, Swords. There's a few all over Dublin, and they have they've just brought like different vegan recipes onto their menu for breakfast, lunch and dinner, and it's absolutely gorgeous, I have to say. Like the food is really nice there, and it's really decent priced as well, which is great. Another place, I know it's not in Dublin, it's right out, I think there's one in Dublin actually, the Happy Pear.
Yes.
So I know it's in Greystones, but I think they've one in Clondalkin. That is like, I love making a day trip to go out there. Like the food they have there, and it's such a high vibe place as well. You go out and, you know, some of the lads are there.
It's real chill.
It's real chilled, and even the people that work there, like they're just so happy and nice and everything, and it's great. So I love the food there, and I'll always stock up on, like, they do vegan Snickers, vegan Twix bars.
Their Twixes are just like, the best thing ever
amazing.
In my mouth.
Yeah, they're so good. So I always stock up on them and like bring a batch home with me. But another place I love is Sansab for a takeaway. It's a Thai place in Drumcondra. Like, I think I order there like once a week. They know me by name now at this stage, because I'm just always in there. And
they have your order ready for you.
They literally have it ready, and they've great like vegan and vegetarian options as well. Yeah, and I don't think you can beat like a burrito from Boojum. That's just one of my go-tos as well. Like I think I've probably eaten about 200 burritos at this stage. Like, and they've rice, they've beans, they've lettuce, they've loads of avocado and salsas, and you're good to go. So like that's probably the go-to ones, I would say. Yeah, but I need to up my vegan restaurants. That's it's on my list for 2019. Yeah.
And what about traveling? Do you find traveling as a vegan difficult?
I think it depends where you're going. So I think for me, I always like to be stocked when I go to an airport. So I will always make sure I have like a bag of like nuts or like energy bars or whatever it is. And if you're going to places that you can bring like some fruit in your bag, like some berries or bananas or whatever, I think you need to be prepared for it, I guess. But yeah, it depends on where you're going. I think when you're going to like I've been to Thailand, Jamaica, South Africa, like, and they've always had like if not vegan, vegetarian options. And I think it's okay to kind of not be so hard on yourself if you're away, like if you can't find something that's vegan,
you're
like
doing
at least
your best in life.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think a lot of people can kind of be very hard on themselves, like when they go over to this lifestyle, and it's okay to slip up now and again, I guess. We're not in a vegan world yet, but hopefully we will be one day. So
and it might also be difficult if the people you're traveling with aren't vegan either.
I think anyone I've been with have always been quite accommodating. I've been in groups and they've always said, we have a vegan here, so we need to like make sure, and that's always lovely. Like, and I think when people are open and honest about that, it's always good. But it's great as well, because you could be out with a group of like 20 or 30 people and you order the vegan dish and everyone's kind of eyeing it up going, that actually looks kind of nice, and I thought you were just going to order a salad and stuff. It's like, no, God, there's so many different options. So I think, be prepared and don't be too hard on yourself as well. It's, when you're traveling. So, yeah.
Definitely. And what about any essential oils when you're traveling? I know you'd said the peppermint again.
Yeah, so I think when you're going somewhere hot, I love to put peppermint and water in a spray bottle, in a glass bottle, and spray that over yourself. It keeps you nice and cool, especially if you're going out like in the summer when it's sunny, and obviously you need to wear sun cream and everything like that. So so the peppermint is definitely one. And like that as well, when you go on holidays, you tend to overeat and indulge, and you have pastas and breads and stuff like that, and you can tend to get like a bit bloated, obviously, because maybe your diet isn't on track what it like would normally be. So the peppermint is a great one to have on hand. Like I was in Sicily there in October, and obviously pasta, breads, pizzas, like that was the main stuff I was eating. And that peppermint got whacked out like every single night, and every morning I was thinking I was going to wake up with bloating, and I wasn't. So it's kind of a go-to one. I talked about the On Guard, like on planes there's so many germs and viruses that go around on planes. Like you're in an enclosed space with people, so the On Guard, I'm like a mad woman when I get onto a plane. I'm like spraying the seats down, and I'm like wiping everything, and I'm like a germ phobic on the planes.
You really have to be nowadays, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So they'd be the top two, I would guess, when traveling. And then I like, there's a blend called Deep Blue, especially if you're doing a lot of walking. It's great for muscle pains. It has wintergreen on it, so it's really cooling and helps your joints, I guess. Like, so that's probably, I'd say that they're probably my top three when traveling. Yeah, definitely.
And what about what would be some of your favourite like makeup or beauty products?
Oh, so this is a bit controversial. So I was using Inglots for the last couple of years. As far as I knew, it was cruelty free. And I did a bit of research then over Christmas, and apparently now they actually can't call themselves cruelty free. I can't remember what exact reason it was for that. So that was really disappointing. Most of my makeup is Inglot, so that was really...
There's no point in throwing it out.
Oh yeah, no, I would never waste. Like I'm always, the less waste the better. Like I don't like waste anyway. But again, now I have to start looking at different brands. So I know Urban Decay is cruelty free, so that's I'm gonna start looking into that, I guess. And I know Superdrug, all of the Superdrug range is cruelty free. They've so much stuff, like it's unbelievable. So I know they have a makeup brand called B by Superdrug. So that's, when things start to run out, I guess I'll look into that. And I think the Fenty Beauty as well. I tried that when I was in Dubai, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It's the only foundation I'll use now. And as far as I know, that's cruelty free.
I think all the Penny stuff is cruelty free as well.
Yeah, so exactly. Yeah.
I think with Inglot, from what I can understand, it's that where they source the products, I think, is tested on animals or something along those lines.
Yeah, it's something
complicated.
Yeah. So as much as I try to cut it out as much as possible, obviously. So it was, it's a bit disappointing, I guess. But
It is, isn't it?
Hopefully they'll go back on it. We'll see.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
fingers crossed. Yeah. So.
And how would you unwind?
How would I unwind? Oh, I should really practice what I preach. I feel like I'm always busy, and I find it very hard to unwind. Some of my things that I love to do is going for a long walk with Bex, my dog that I have. I feature him quite a lot on my channel. So, but yeah, getting out in nature with Bex, like, that's kind of my go-to thing. I love, on a Saturday or a Sunday, putting away a couple of hours, either going to Howth or the Phoenix Park, getting out with him. That really kind of, I think, sets me up then for the week ahead. Another thing, self-care is so important. Like, we have such a fast-moving society. We don't actually allow ourselves to, feel those feelings and kind of give ourselves that space.
Digest it.
Yeah, exactly. I love reading. I always have. Like, so I love just sitting down to a book. But absolutely, like, I definitely do more of it. Like, I need to find that kind of balance between it. But for me in the evening, I stick on my essential oils. I have my diffuser on. I have the salt lamp on, and I just have a book. And for me, that even 20 minutes, 30 minutes at night kind of gets me into a good mind frame, I guess, for the next day. Like, so, yeah.
And what are some of your favourite ways to keep fit?
Oh, going to the gym anyways.
Yeah.
I love working out. I guess doing classes, like, I like going myself, but I think it's that motivation to actually get you to do that bit of extra work. Like, I love doing gym classes. I love doing a spin class. You see someone working beside you and you want to do that little bit extra, you know. So, but like, you don't need a gym to get fit and get active. Like, I just, it suits me, obviously, and it fits into my schedule. But there's so many different ways. Like, as I said, I love getting out for a walk and going for a power walk. I don't really... I like to run, but I wouldn't do it this time of year because I feel like I can't, like, breathe because the air is so cold.
Yeah.
But coming into summer, like, a few jogs and stuff like that, they'd be kind of my top ways. I danced for 12 years.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah. And obviously just with college and everything, I had to kind of stop it last year. So it's on my list. As soon as college is done and dusted, I'll be getting back to dancing because I have to say I miss it so much. Like, and I miss the community in it, and we did a lot of different. We travelled a lot with it. Like, we've been to Florida and Disney World, and we danced there, and it opened a lot of doors, I guess, in that sense. So
that's amazing. I never knew that. That's amazing.
Yeah. So hopefully I get back to it soon. Fingers crossed when all the hype, like, dies down a bit. Yeah. So.
And what would be some of your favourite forms of social media?
Oh, Instagram, obviously.
Instagram, yes, I think so.
Instagram's the top one, I guess. But I don't know if it's a social media. Like, I love Pinterest as well. Like,
I'm obsessed with
Pinterest.
Pinterest.
I've so many different folders on it, and I just love saving all these different images.
I have, like, my whole house designed already
on
ready to
Pinterest.
go.
Yeah, exactly. I love the picture type social media. Facebook, I think, is kind of fallen behind slightly. Yeah, it's informative, I guess. It's great for the pages and stuff like that, but I think Instagram would be the top one. I don't think there's any other ones I really use. That would be kind of it. I'm happy with that.
Well, I think his picture speaks 1,000 words.
Exactly.
So what can we do? And what would be some of your favourite non-social media apps?
I'm not actually too sure. I don't really have any other. Oh, well, actually, no, I love Headspace.
Do you?
I have Headspace on my phone. I think that's very beneficial to have. So, yeah, I love that app. I have My Fitness Pal as well, if anyone's into, like, their fitness and tracks, like macros. That's fantastic for that. I've used that for years. And, I find that one really helpful. I'd actually have to look through my phone.
No, that's good.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else now off the top of my head.
Not to have like me, your hand attached to your phone or whatever my mom said. She's always like, oh.
They'd be the top ones I kind of go to. So anything after that just kind of gets lost, I guess.
And I know you said to zone out a bit, you would tend to read. Is there any books you'd recommend?
I read a lot of books by Kathy Glass. She is an author who has fostered hundreds and hundreds of kids over the years. I think she's an English author. and I think I've probably read all of her books. I've always wanted to be a foster carer when
Really?
I'm older. Yeah, it's always been in my vision. And I think, you know, doing the counselling, I've always wanted to work with adolescents anyway, so I'm drawn to that area as it is. And I think, you know,
what an amazing personality. There's a lot of help and kindness there.
I'm always a giver. I'm give, and I need to start, you know, I guess it's giving to yourself that you can give to others as well, you know. But well, thanks, that's really nice.
That's really nice that you're doing this.
But yeah, like I don't know, I've always just kind of been drawn to that. Like I think there's so many kids that go through an awful time, and I think being able to help them even for a couple of weeks or months, you know, throughout their life, to set them up like in the future is so important. But other books that I love is The Secret. I think it's, you know, if you're into the law of attraction, if you're into manifesting, you know, your strong life, and that's definitely a good book to read. I didn't read actually. I listened to the podcast or the audio book. Yeah. What's it called? You Are a Badass at Making Money by Jen Sincero. So I thought that was absolutely fantastic, and it gave me a different outlook on money, I guess, because I would have always kind of been like, not a penny pincher, but I would have, you know, been careful with my money, and kind of, you know, not knowing when the next was kind of coming in. And I think it's given me a better outlook to kind of say that, you know, it doesn't always have to be that way. You can manifest, you know, better things to come, and I think the two work really well hand in hand with each other. So yeah, she has another book, You Are a Badass, so that's next on my list to read as well.
Okay.
But other ones just to kind of get lost in a book, I think, you know, The Girl on the Train, you know, those kind of...
I didn't read it, but I saw the film. Oh my God.
Those thriller books, I love those ones where you can just get lost in a story, and, you know, like the Kathy Glass ones are great, but I always end up crying at the end of them, whereas you want a thriller where you're nearly at the end going, I can't believe that happened, you know. So yeah, definitely books like that, they're gripping, and you know, they, as I said, you get lost in them literally. Yeah,
so the ideal goal.
Yeah.
And what about any documentaries? Do you have any you'd recommend?
Yes, I have a full list of documentaries actually. So I mentioned Cowspiracy earlier. That was kind of the first documentary I watched in relation to like health and food. I'm obsessed with watching documentaries on health. So What the Health is definitely one of them. Earthlings, if you're really feeling up for it, but get the tissues ready, I would say. Forks Over Knives, if you're interested in your own health and, you know, veganism, you know, watch these.
Well,
yeah, exactly. Watch these documentaries, you know, because as I said, if you don't know, you can't make better choices for yourself. So, you know, getting yourself educated and informed in that sense. Another documentary was Blackfish. I was heartbroken by the end of it, you know. But I guess that's a few of them. Yeah, anything kind of food related. I love watching documentaries on serial killers as well. So that's my dark side.
Really?
Now.
Oh God.
Yeah, definitely.
I used to, like, literally, when I say used to, I mean up until 3 weeks ago, I used to just be obsessed. But I just thought lately I've just been going through the motions of everything, and I was like, okay, I kind of just need everything that's going to make me happy.
Yeah.
And like the difference 3 weeks makes of not watching them is amazing.
Yeah,
But they're so intriguing.
That's it. It's you know, getting into the mind, I think, of like you know, different people. I've always been fascinated, obviously, the psychology part of it. That's what I love. And me and my mom we sit down and we watch them together. And like I'd say, if anyone looked through our Netflix, you know, history, they'd be pointing fingers. If anyone around us went missing or something, we'd be the first culprits anyway. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, that'd be my go-to ones, I guess.
And what about podcasts?
Podcasts, yeah, I do like listen to podcasts in the morning. I couldn't tell you specific people. I just would kind of search, you know, health or food or mental health. I think the TED Talks are fantastic. I love sticking them on, like especially for getting ready in the morning. I've listened to podcast on Joe Rogan. He's doing, you know, he promotes the ketogenic diet, and I've only recently kind of started looking into vegan ketosis. So there's not a lot So ketosis is when you have a high fat, low carb and moderate protein diet. So your body ends up getting into a state where it burns fat for energy. So you keep your carbs quite low. And it's, you know, there is a lot of research behind it. Obviously, most people are doing it on heavy meat kind of diet, and, you know, like lean meats and stuff. So there's a select few numbers, I guess, of people that are trying to do a vegan version of it. So it's basically getting your body into a fat burning state. But there's a lot of research on it. There's a lot of research on, you know, the anti-inflammatory properties of it, and energy and things like that. So it's just, you know, I've tried nearly all diets, I guess, when it comes to veganism. Like, I've done high fat, low carb, I've done raw to 4, I've done, you know, a load of different ones, and I think it's just trying to find what works for you. Like, I think,
like, with any diet.
Exactly, yeah. Whether you're vegan or not, like, I think, you know, high carb, low fat works for so many people, and it's so many health benefits. You know, I do think that a plant-based diet is the way forward, and every, you know, 90% or 99%, I guess, of all illnesses or any diseases can be cured with a plant-based diet. But I think it's finding what works for you. Everyone needs different macros, and everyone needs different nutrients, I guess. So it's always finding what works for you, like, at the end of the day. So we'll see how that goes. I'm interested to see if I can actually stick with it, but we'll see how that goes. I
think because I just know that you said about the kind of murder mystery documentaries. There's a podcast called The Teacher's Pet that you haven't listened to it. It's horrible, but it's so intriguing. I was just like, oh my God. It's about this. I'll tell you about it later. But really good.
I'll have to stick that on the list then. Exactly. I'm always up for recommendations, so definitely.
And I have some quick fire questions for you. I was so annoyed because I don't know if you saw my messages, but I actually sent you the list of questions that I had, and I included all the quick fire questions on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh fuck. And I was like, please ignore that. And then I realized on Instagram you can completely delete a message and no one sees it.
Oh right, okay. So I never saw it. So
I was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Wait till I get hold of some of my old messages. Okay, I'm gonna go for it. So, breakfast or dinner?
Oh, dinner.
Lavender or eucalyptus?
Eucalyptus.
Ooh, very quick with that. Nights in or nights out?
Oh, nights in.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Heels or runners?
Oh, heels.
Homemade or restaurant bought?
Homemade.
Morning or evening?
Evening.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Short hair or long hair?
Long hair.
Veg or fruit?
Fruit.
Swimming in the pool or swimming in the sea?
Pool.
Shower or bath?
Bath, but I don't have one, so shower.
Call or text?
Oh, text.
Ariel or Snow White?
Oh, Snow White.
Too warm or too cold?
Too warm.
Online or in-store shopping?
Online.
Horror or comedy?
Horror.
Music or podcasts?
Music.
Flowers or plants?
Flowers.
And what does the next year have in store for the vegan Colleen?
Well, fingers crossed I can get myself through the year for my master's degree. So obviously that's the biggest thing in my vision at the moment, is to just get through the year and graduate from that. I guess, you know, try new vegan restaurants is definitely on my list for this year. And just live a healthier, happy life, I guess, and just, you know, try and keep my vibes up as much as I can, and just try and help people around me, I guess.
That sounds ideal
for me.
It's really good year. And I just want to thank Jade so much, because I literally just texted her today and was like, Jade, do you want to do the podcast interview tonight after your class? And she was so good, so thank you. And she's doing it in the car outside with me, so thank you so much.
No worries at all. I'm actually so delighted that I got to do it, because this is my first ever podcast, so hopefully many more to come.
Yeah, exactly.
So thanks so much for having me.
Hi guys, back to being just me again. Jade, thank you again so much for agreeing to come on the podcast, 2, agreeing last minute to record it that day, and 3, for recording it in my car. It's not usually a setup like that, but anyway, I hope we all learned a lot. I know I did. Essential oils was a subject that I didn't know too much about, and now I feel like I know a lot more about it, and I know the benefits that they have, and I know how and when to use what. And also there was some great vegan meal prepping tips mixed in there, and just some overall great health tips, I think, from Jade. And that's one of the reasons why I love following Jade. She's very positive on social media, but she's also very realistic as well, and she'll give great day-to-day tips on just, you know, being happy, being healthy, and of course, essential oils and veganism. So thank you everyone for listening in. If on this occasion I could ask that if you do listen to my podcast and you do like the content that's on it, and you like this episode even, that if possible, if you could take 1 minute, just 1 minute, to rate and review it on whatever medium or platform you listen to it on. I'd really, really appreciate it. It would make a huge difference to my podcast and my platform. And thanks again for listening, guys, and I will talk to you soon. Have a good week. Bye.